What's going on? My name is Albert, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Brine Triumph X. So the Brine Triumph X is Brine's last defensively built head before it was bought out and merged with New Balance and Warrior. As far as I know, don't quote me on that, I'm not 100% sure, but as far as I'm aware, this was one of their last defensive built heads before they merged with Warrior and New Balance. And I gotta say, this is one of my favorite heads I've ever used. So the Brine Triumph is a defensively built head, as you can tell from the face shape, sidewall design, and the flatness of the scoop and the throat cutout hole. So a little bit about this head. This head comes in at about 5.8 grams, which is a little bit on the heavy side, if not one of the heaviest heads out there on the market, but it does weigh that much for a reason. So the first thing I want to point out is the sidewall and then the cutouts on the sidewall. So the sidewall was strategically placed like this so it can be strung as a mid to mid-high pocket, as well as giving it maximum stiffness and rigidity, and making sure that it was able to hold up on its own vertically and horizontally. As you can see, it's a pretty stiff head. So a little bit about the inside and the cutouts, as you can see right here. They did this for two reasons. The first one is to cut out excess material that wasn't necessary to make the head a little bit lighter and to reduce its weight. The second is, if you ever seen like a beehive or one of those contraptions with like triangles or honeycombs on it, and you try to press it down and compress it, it's really stiff and gives it a lot of strength just because of the shape and the way it's constructed. So what Brine did over here was a very similar concept, where they wanted to reduce weight but also at the same time give it the maximum strength and rigidity. So they came up with this sidewall design right here. I'm not sure if you can see it. If not, I'll post a picture of it in editing. But you can see right here that it's cut out and designed like this to give it maximum strength, make sure it doesn't break, the head's not flimsy, and also make it very stiff for when you throw checks and stuff like that. So the next thing I want to point out is the scoop. It's pretty flat, it's pretty simple design. It's basically what would you expect for a defensive head. It's angled a little bit so that way you're able to pick up the ball easier, especially with a 6-foot pole. It's going to be a little bit more harder. But I think the way that they designed it is pretty smart, where they curved it in so it isn't flaring out so much and the head isn't wide, but at the same time the scoop is flat and the strings on the back are protected, so there will be minimal damage to the stringing holes and the string on the top, but also be able to scoop up the ground balls easier. Also, like I said before, the head face shape is pretty wide, but as far as the defensive head goes, I think this is my favorite wide shape. It's pretty unique. I haven't really played with anything else. I've used this head for 3-4 plus years already, and I love it. It is my favorite head out there on the market, and all the other heads I used, I wasn't a huge fan, so I used the Warrior Burn 2 Pro Max, which I liked, I thoroughly enjoyed, but wasn't a huge fan because I like the wider head shape. And I also used a hammer, but I felt, for me personally, it was too wide. So this I felt like was perfect because it was wide at the top, which makes it easier for the ball to fall in at any of these points when you're scooping it up. And also the wide face shape helps it with picking off passes and intercepting passes and help with transitions. And it gradually comes inwards to this point right here, which allows it to give it a mid-high pocket, which is what I have strung right here with Rocket Mesh Semi-Hard Elite Mesh. It's pretty good mesh. If you want me to do a review on it, just let me know in the comments down below. But yeah, I think this head was perfectly designed to help pick off passes with the wide face shape, like I said, but since it also narrows down over here as it goes down closer to the throat, it does help with transition, clearing the ball, and just getting that quick release most defenders need when they're in a situation where they're required to just dump the ball off to whoever's open. And I think what they did with the design was pretty smart. Lastly, I want to talk about is the throat. So to reduce even more weight, they cut out the sides, as you can see here and here, and also left in some material, but strategically cut it out to give it its stiffness, but also at the same time make it strong enough so it doesn't snap and, you know, break and go like back and forth on the shaft whenever you throw checks and stuff. And as most defensive heads have, there's 2 screw holes on the back, which allows it to reduce the head rattle and also make sure it's securely on there onto the shaft. Overall, I think this is a pretty good defensive head. Like I said, I used it for 4+ years, and I loved it. I love how it strings. It's pretty easy to string. There are, I believe, 17 or 18 sidewall holes. Don't quote me on that. Which is about the average number of sidewall holes you have. They're all pretty big and easy to string with, so I didn't have any problems. You can throw in any pattern you want in here. I went with a simple interlocks, loops. It's very, very simple pattern. So yeah, I put that in this head and I love it. It throws easily, it clears, it picks up the ground balls, especially with the mid to mid-high pocket that shifts, the ball falls in and it just lands right here into the pocket, which is always a good thing as you want to get the ball in and out of your stick as quickly as possible. And the face shape does help off with picking off passes and transitions. I play close defense and I love how stiff and sturdy it was. It allowed me to use it for like 2 seasons before I had to switch, get a new head from warping, from heat and constant use of it. I love this head. I was able to throw a lot of checks, slaps, slashes, poke checks, you name it. I probably threw it at some point or another. The only thing I don't like about this head is the scoop, or the top of the head. Like I said, it is kind of thin, so it allows, and flat and smooth, which allows it to pick up the ground ball faster. But that also means there's less material keeping it stiff and sturdy, so over time the top would warp and tend to flex inwards and become really, really soft like most heads do. So after about a year of using it, I started to notice it starting to warp and become really soft up top. And when I was watching film, I noticed that the head started to warp inwards like this way. So since it's like straight up this way, after a while it tends to bend inwards like that, which made throwing poke checks a little bit hard because then it would like flex inwards, warp my head. Ground balls were the same. When I went to go pick it up, it would push inwards or cause the head to warp because it was so loose and like worn out and flexible and warped. But besides that, I don't really have a problem with this head. I love this head. I still love this head. I'm so happy I was able to get a new one. If you want to buy this, it's about $35–40 without shipping and tax. I believe Lacrosse Monkey still sells it, Universal Lacrosse, and I'm sure Sports Stop Lacrosse sells it, and I don't think Lacrosse Unlimited and Lax.com sells it because it is an older head that has been out on the market for quite some time now. But if you're able to get your hands on this, I highly recommend it, especially if you play close and you're aggressive on defense like I was and still currently am. This is by far my favorite head, and I can't wait to use it again in the next season. If you guys like the video, make sure you like it. If not, give it a thumbs down. Make sure you subscribe. Comment what you want me to review next. If you want me to review the Rocket Mesh Semi-Hard Elite Mesh, I will. If you want me to post a video on how I strung this head, I will. Just let me know down in the comments what you want to see more of me. More video. Just let me know down in the comments what you want to see more of me. From me? Of me? More from me. I'll do my best to review it, or have someone else let me borrow their stuff and I can get a review, do my research on it. And yeah, thanks for watching.